BioWare already appears to be doing damage control for Mass Effect 5 in the wake of the immense backlash that Dragon Age the Veilguard is receiving before it has even released. Obviously, that game is receiving immense backlash due to the injection of forced ideology, the manipulation of review scores, the ham fisted dialogue. Uh, the list goes on and on and on, but it's also receiving immense backlash for its ugly art style. So I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. You can find the link in the description below, where you can also find a link to become a member of the channel and help support me as we continue to expose these companies that are promoting woke ideology and help us to eradicate this ideology from video games, from entertainment at large, and from our society, because it is an immense harm to society. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. That is objective. It is an evil ideology that we must get rid of. But anyways, let's get to this here. Mass Effect 5 game director Michael Gamble already appears to be doing damage control in the wake of Dragon Age the Veilguard being roundly lampooned by gamers for its art style. The game has been absolutely lambasted ever since they released the first trailer for this game, when they announced that it was going to be the Veilguard instead of Dreadwolf. That trailer that was released back in June has like 2.3 million views, but a massive like to dislike ratio with just over 47,000 likes and over 288,000 dislikes. Absolutely immense dislike to like ratio on that trailer. And many of the comments were about the game's art style. You can see here one of the top comments is, "What are we, some kind of dragon Suicide Squad?" Obviously making the comparison to the absolute failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which Warner Brothers Discovery had to take a $200 million impairment charge on. And then here we go. This guy saying, "I didn't know Disney bought BioWare." Obviously, that could mean lots of different things due to the ideology injection, the art style. A lot of people are comparing this to Pixar, etc. This guy is clearly talking about the art direction, saying, "Are you sure this is dark fantasy?" And then another person here saying, "Who bait and switched my gory, mature, dark fantasy RPG for Guardians of the Galaxy meets Clash of Clans?" I mean, you go through the comments there. There are a plethora of them. Again, these are just the top four that you see, or top four you see sorted by top comment on the video. And there are plenty of other them. Obviously, we've seen streamers talk about this too. Asmongold did this video, I don't know, back in September, I want to say. He says, "I feel like Raid Shadow Legends has like better graphical style than this game." I do. I really think so. I mean, this really just looks like a mobile game. He said, "You've got Wolfheart FPS." He says, "The art direction in this game is a bit of a mixed bag for me, but unfortunately weighing a bit heavier on the negative side. I'm personally not a big fan of the extra smooth plastic Play-Doh-y like looking character models. Everybody seems to describe it differently. Pixar films, and they would seriously fit right in many of these films. Things just look rather G-rated." He even described the creature designs as goofy. So I think he's pretty right. But you get the gist. Like, people are lampooning this game over its art direction, again, among other things. So Gamble actually kind of posted this to X. He says, "Lots of people asking me about Mass Effect now that Veilguard reviews are out and October 31 is close. Both are from the studio, but Mass Effect is Mass Effect. How you bring a sci-fi RPG to life is different than other genres or IPs, and you has to have different kinds of love." So he's clearly trying to differentiate Mass Effect from Dragon Age, because gamers are like, whoa, if this is what BioWare's got cooking for Dragon Age, what are they doing over at Mass Effect? It's clearly going to be much of the same absolute slop that they are trying to serve you with Dragon Age. And he's trying to already do damage control here. I don't think that there is any way to really otherwise see this. This looks clear damage control to me. If you have a different opinion on that, please share it with me in the comments. But from where I'm standing, from where I'm sitting, from where I'm looking at this, this is damage control. He is clearly trying to differentiate Dragon Age from Mass Effect, even though he does admit that they are both from the same studio, but noting that how you bring a sci-fi RPG to life is different than other genres or IPs and has to have different kinds of love. So he's clearly trying to differentiate how they are developing Mass Effect from how they are developing Dragon Age, or how they developed Dragon Age, the Veilguard. And as we've covered in multiple videos, they've claimed that that game has always been inherently very queer. And then he added in a subsequent post, he says, regarding tone questions, Mass Effect will maintain the mature tone of the original trilogy. This is all I'm going to say for now. Obviously, lots of people have already pointed to the massive change in tone that Veilguard has had compared to previous entries in the Dragon Age franchise. And then he also responded to a number of individuals who had some questions. This person here says, I mean, Mass Effect has always had its fair share of humor and silliness, so trying to kind of push back a little bit. And Gamble's like, sure, but we've had serious characters put in some humorous situations, which are very different from basically treating your characters as a joke or self-insert or trying to push an ideological agenda, which we see in Dragon Age, the Veilguard. And then he specifically addressed the game's art style. One user implored, please don't Pixar Mass Effect like you guys did with Dragon Age. And Gamble says, I'm not sure I agree with the Pixar thing, but Mass Effect is photorealistic and will be as long as I'm running it. So again, differentiating himself, not only in the main post, but also in the replies from Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I think that even BioWare knows, this is a tacit admission that even BioWare knows that Dragon Age, the Veilguard is a complete and utter disaster. It has ruined the company's brand that was already tarnished, obviously, after Mass Effect 3, after Andromeda, after Anthem, etc. But now they have just completely flushed it down the toilet, and they are scrambling, and they have their game director here for Mass Effect 5, Michael Gamble, literally doing damage control over on X to differentiate Mass Effect from Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Just another piece of evidence that this Dragon Age, the Veilguard game is going to be a complete and utter disaster when it arrives on October 31st, just 2 days from now, later this week. But let me know what you guys make of what Mr. Gamble here has to say regarding Mass Effect 5 and how he is differentiating it from Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always speak the truth.